Now, to a developing story that we are following up for you, and former Nairobi Governor Kidero was this morning arrested in a graft probe. Former Chief of Staff George Wainaina was also arrested. EACC is probing alleged illegal payment of 68 million Kenya shillings to a law firm. A statement from the EACC says it has been in regular payment of 68 million shillings made by Nairobi City Council to a law firm purporting that it was legal fees. Timothy Otieno is at the EACC offices here in Nairobi and now joins us live. Good morning, Tim. It's good to see you. Yet another Kamata Friday this time around. The former governor. Not the first time for him to be arrested by the same EACC officials. So what do we know as at now, Tim?
Indeed, the former governor is no stranger to the holding rooms here at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. He, alongside three others, are right now inside being grilled in regards to this 68 million shilling scandal, if you'd call it, over the payment of legal fee for a case that, according to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, was not supposed to be there in the first place. Now, this is the scenario, Grace. Back in 2010, a company known as Kiavi Holdings Limited is said to have sued the Nairobi City Council over the irregular allocation of a plot of land that the EACC says belongs to Mariakani Primary School here in Nairobi. But investigations have revealed that, number one, the plot in question, in which there was a litigation against, had no reallocation, and therefore there was no need to have that legal tussle. And secondly, that Kiavi Holdings Limited, the company that took the Nairobi City Council to court, does not even actually exist. Now, this particular case saw the Nairobi City Council cough up 68 million shillings paid in two different installments, 10 million shillings paid in June 2011 and a further 58 million shillings paid as legal fee in January 2014 to the advocates company of Miss Wachira Mburu, Mwangi and Company Advocates. Now, Kidero himself has been behind us, has been at these Ethics and Anti-Corruption offices since at around 8 in the morning, and the grilling is ongoing, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission says he is expected alongside 4 others to be arraigned in court. But the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission says it's casting its net wider. About 13 other people are believed to have been involved in this case, including the Member of Parliament, the current Member of Parliament for Nyakach, Honorable Joshua Aduma, as well as John Ndirangu, who is the former Mayor of Nairobi, who have all been requested to present themselves before the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. As at now, we can only confirm about 4 people, including the former governor himself, are here at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We still await to see whether the other 13 people, including a lady known as Hannah Mudhoni, who is believed to have pocketed 11 million from the 68 million shillings that is believed to have been stolen, whether they'll present themselves here, and most likely if they will be arraigned in court. Grace, as you did mention, remember today is a Friday, and they are of course expected to be arraigned in court either today. If not, then it means they could be spending the night at the cells until Monday, when this particular case will be going up in court, depending on the time allocations for those, and whether or not the other 13 suspects will have brought themselves before the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigators. Grace.
Certainly, Tim, but I want us to talk more about when they will be arraigned, because as you said, it's a Friday, Tim. We don't expect them to be arraigned, tomorrow or Sunday. I remember last time when the former NLC chair was arrested, one of the officials that spoke to us said they will be waiting for all the 13 to at least make they be arraigned. So this is the same case here.
Yes, Grace, this could be particularly the same case. Remember, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission are targeting 4 main charges, including the conspiracy to commit an offense of corruption, dealing with suspect property, laundering and abuse of office. Now, these 4 charges, the ethics and anti-corruption investigators will be hoping to build a solid case against all 13 or these to remember and the judiciary have in the past been accused of making these grand gestures of arrest, and then after a few days the suspects are released on bond or bail, and perhaps the courts rule that there is sufficient evidence to charge said suspects. So you can be sure that this time round the ethics and anti-corruption investigators will be seeking to consolidate a very strong case against said individuals, and this could take time. Remember, these grillings usually take hours and hours. Remember when Cabinet Secretary for Treasury was being grilled at the DCI, it took him almost 2 days being grilled by the DCI officials. So you cannot really tell how this particular case is going to shape up, depending on how many suspects bring themselves forward, depending on whether the EACC will have to go out there and search for these individuals on their own, and depending also on what will be said at the grilling rooms. This could change situations. A suspect could ultimately turn out to be a key witness in a case. So these dynamics are at play in this particular case involving the former governor, who is now being called upon for the 3rd time since he left office more than 1.5 years ago. Remember, Kidero himself has had cases involving 213 million shillings, which he was accused of having embezzled during his tenure as governor from between 2014 and 2016. Now he has this 68 million shilling case in which his office did sign the checks that paid these particular amounts to a company that apparently does not exist, and a case which should not have been there before. So the investigators no doubt will have to be meticulous in this one to ensure that whatever case they present in court will be strong enough and viable enough to see perhaps those convictions that Kenyans have been so hungry to see but have yet to see. Grace.
Certainly, team. Thank you so